contrived mediated stimulus is a generalization tactic or teaching aid used in the instructional setting to teach a desired social skill and then used in a different setting to elicit the same social skill. Jace's math teacher created a visual to prompt him to remember personal space when he's talking to other people. She taught him to think of each person having a personal bubble around them as a way to remember personal space. If he forgets, Jace's math teacher reminds him with this visual. Jace's language arts teacher noticed that Jace was having the same problem in his class. So Jace's math teacher gave a copy of the visual to his language arts teacher. As a result, Jace started showing appropriate personal space was mediated by the visual that was originally taught in the math class. Jace's science teacher also noticed Jace having a hard time keeping personal space when talking to his peers. And Jace was not responding to his science teacher's verbal reminders. Therefore, the same visual used in math and language arts class was used, and as a result, the visual mediated the desired social skill in science class. Here are some implementation steps to consider. 1. Identify the social skill deficit. 2. Observe and identify other situations or settings where the social skill deficit is occurring through data collection. 3. Identify the teaching aid you'll be using to be transferred across settings. 4. Teach the desired social skill using the teaching aid. 5. Once the learner starts responding to the teaching aid in the original instructional setting, start implementing the use of the teaching aid in other problematic situations or settings. Remember to provide some type of reinforcement for the learner using the desired social skill in the other settings. Now let's take a look at the steps Ms. Rodriguez took to use a contrived mediated stimulus with one of her students. Ms. Rodriguez noticed that her student had been inappropriately responding to teachers when giving corrective feedback. Therefore, responding to corrective feedback will be the targeted social skill. Now it's time to move to step 2. That is collecting data on the social skill deficit. Through interviews with other staff members who work with Jace and direct observations, Ms. Rodriguez identified that Jace is exhibiting this social skill deficit during language arts class and in the cafeteria. Step 3 involves identifying the contrived mediated stimulus, or what we are calling the teaching aid. Ms. Rodriguez has decided to use behavior mapping with Jace to teach the desired skill. A behavior map is a visual, like this one, that illustrates the outcomes to expect when engaging in a desired social skill versus an undesirable social skill. For Ms. Rodriguez, she wanted to use a teaching aid to capitalize on her students' love for Steph Curry. So she created a situation that Steph Curry encounters during a basketball game. This is similar to the desired social skill.
Jace, this is called a behavior map. It shows what you can expect for when you engage in appropriate behavior versus inappropriate behavior. I'm noticing that you're having a hard time responding to corrective feedback. That is, you don't like it when you are told you are wrong. Responding appropriately to this type of feedback is important. Even your hero, Steph Curry, uses this skill during basketball games. Look here. Let's look at what happens to Steph Curry when he doesn't respond well to the referee. So that's this one. So if he yells back, he gets kicked out of the game. However, look at the positive outcomes for when he uses an appropriate response. Yes, he might disagree with the referee's call, but instead of yelling, he takes a deep breath, says to himself, "It's okay," and then remains in the game. So now you are going to get the opportunity to be like Steph Curry and use his strategies. So look what happens when you use his strategies. When you take a deep breath and say, "It's okay," you will get to stay in the classroom with your friends. However, if you yell at the person who is telling you that you're wrong, you will be sent to the principal's office. Now, let's practice your Steph Curry skills.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, everyone, let's warm up with some math facts before we get started with our lesson. When I ask you the fact, you tell me the answer. Okay, Lily, what is 5 times 5?
25.
That is great. Well done. Jace, what is 7 times 5?
40.
Okay, that is incorrect, but can we use your Steph Curry strategy?
7 times 5 is 35.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Way to use your Steph Curry strategy. All right, look, Jace. So today you were just like Steph Curry. You used your strategies. So when I told you you got the wrong answer, you took a deep breath, and then you were able to answer the question and stay in the classroom, which was awesome. So well done in using your new Steph Curry skills. And will you be sure to use those in social studies and science as well as the cafeteria?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Great.
Step 5 consists of implementing the teaching aid in the other problematic setting. Once the student is consistently using the new skill, have them extend it to another setting. Because you introduce this in another classroom, train your peers on the behavior map. Likewise, have the teachers discuss expectations and the behavior map prior to the new setting. As the student begins to generalize to other classrooms, make sure teachers are providing positive feedback to the student for using the new social skill. Using a generalization tactic called Contrived mediated stimulus is a great way to transfer newly learned social skills to multiple settings. Let's quickly review the steps to implementing this intervention. Number 1, identify the social skill deficit. Number 2, observe and identify other situations or settings where the social skill deficit is occurring through data collection. Number 3, identify the teaching aid you'll be using to be generalized across settings. Number 4, teach the desired social skill using the teaching aid. Number 5, once the learner starts responding to the teacher aid, start implementing the use of the teaching aid to other problematic situations or settings.